When a historic town falls in infrastructural ruins, where then lies the essence of grassroots leadership and dividends of democracy, particularly at the grassroots where governance should truly begin? This week, we turn on the spotlight on Gboko local government area in Benue State, examining infrastructure, leadership, funding, and realities faced by residents on the ground. Welcome to Scorecard. I am Bernard Akede. Let's get the grades.
Every great day starts with a great morning, and at Breakfast Central, we understand the importance of starting your morning right.
From 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., our team is dedicated to delivering a one-of-a-kind breakfast experience with vibrant conversations, detailed analysis, comprehensive reports, and on-location updates.
Breakfast Central is for you, giving you more time for breaking news, more insights, and more of the stories that matter to you.
Start your morning the right way. Breakfast Central, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday.
Gboko local government, under the leadership of Executive Chairman Utsaha, who News Central repeatedly contacted but declined to speak with us, receives about 809.2 million naira in monthly allocations. Yet residents say the town has struggled for decades with failing infrastructure, stalled development, and a growing sense of neglect. News Central visited Gboko local government area to hear directly from the people, assess what is working and what is not, and find out how they scored their chairman. Take a look.
Gboko is located in the heart of Benue State and remains one of the state's major urban centers. It is home to the Dangote cement plant, formerly the Benue Cement Company, established in the late 1970s, an industry that once positioned Gboko as an economic hub in the north-central region. But decades after that promise, residents say development has failed to keep pace with population growth. With an estimated population running into hundreds of thousands, Gboko remains a strategic commercial and cultural center for the Tiv people. However, residents interviewed by News Central say the town's infrastructure reflects years of neglect. They insist that most public infrastructure still in use today, including roads, water facilities, drainage systems, and public buildings, were constructed in the 1980s and 1990s with little or no major expansion since then.
The streets, the roads are no longer mature. Like the streets, connecting street. During 1988-87, when we had Gboko led local government administration, he tried connecting the streets. He built culverts. If you go around now, you saw that the culverts are no longer passing because they're broken.
Business in which I had to go. Simply show the business guys. Simple na simple ni share with them. The only government only saw get that simple and higher. Go yaba wuli go business. The only government sa ba ko fulega. But na hala ga share gane. Gerene saw get the simple ga. Go ya kwa hana wo bango vihinga.
Bad roads remain one of the most visible challenges across the town. During the rainy season, several areas of Gboko experienced severe flooding, with residents reporting collapsed houses and families displaced due to erosion. Residents say repeated appeals for lasting interventions in flood-prone communities have yielded little result.
Afamga nanja kwana zuhakwara zuaga bamwe mechia manu bayaga bena modu ba ilu wangra ma fese masifon ma le nguna ma do shi hashi masifa yiga ya wosi do hiye bamwe ne improve yo e chama autonomy ga uga e yo e chama wetin autonomy Abishika autonomy waiting. Autonomy. In a chama approve or nyari buguna ega. Bore go to be do si hashi. Bamwe kwalaga.
Even inside the market, the main town where the revenue is generated, you can see the roads are not good. The road is not good. You're up to inside the market square, you cannot see any good road within the town. So let the government, let the chairman of the local government try to amend all those things so that our town will develop.
Some roads are not motorable at all. The erosion have taken over the roads. And most of our houses, like I was saying, most of our houses, erosion have taken over it.
Some residents affected by erosion declined to speak on camera. However, they told News Central off camera that they hope to see their homes restored and permanent solutions put in place. Residents also complain of erratic power supply and poor access to clean water. They say businesses struggle to survive, healthcare delivery is disrupted, and households are forced to rely on unsafe or expensive alternatives.
Look at that transformer there. It's over 2 months. We don't have light in this area. Some people normally sell ice block to earn their living. Some people normally sell minerals. Some people do many things. Look at computer center. There, look at them there. They don't have light. You see their generators. If you go there, something that will charge you 20 naira, they will charge you 1,000 or 2,000. You understand? Because the generator, fuel, servicing of the generator costs many things for them. So it's not their fault, it's government fault.
We don't have road in our street, especially in my area here, where I'm standing. Our streets are very local. You can't even drive a car. You can't even, maybe if you manage, you will use a bike. And then we are asking the government to at least help us to develop our area and then give us water. We are suffering on water. We don't see all this. We got to buy water from borehole now. The gallon is 100 now in my area here.
At the primary healthcare level, concerns also persist. During visits to some primary healthcare centers, staff declined to speak with News Central. Residents, however, say inadequate infrastructure, limited equipment, and inconsistent services continue to affect healthcare delivery at the grassroots. Beyond infrastructure, many residents accuse local leadership of being distant and inaccessible. As part of this scorecard, residents were asked to rate the performance of the Gboko local government chairman on a scale of 1 to 10.
I will give him 1 over 10 because he didn't perform anything. Look at our street. Even this one, it was even my community people that I called them so that they should come for an assistance so that we keep our environment neat. Not the local government chairman. And I believe the ministry of works here. They don't even do anything. They will not be paying their salary without even helping us.
I rate him 5.
I will take 6. And then I will give chairman 4.
1 to 10, I will give him 6%. Yes.
Yes, I can give him 5%. Because what other chairman have done, for him now, I saw the better, at least 5% to give him. That's all.
Maybe we fuck when on the Huawei do you ga. Now no percent to Hua. Maybe when get you, showing me about 1 Huaga.
I'm good, but 5 DJ because Chairman isn't by me. If you can buy your office, I cannot agree with you.
In the course of this report, News Central sought comments from key stakeholders. However, the Gboko declined to speak, with our crew denied access to his residence. Meanwhile, multiple sources within the local government told News Central that the chairman does not have direct access to council funds. According to them, most projects in the area are handled by the Benue State government, leaving local governments with limited financial autonomy.
We cannot see the autonomy yet. You see, like the last time he was talking to the governors during their APC NEC meeting, he was hammering on the issue of autonomy that local governments should be given money. The governors should, give the local government chairman enough money so that they will run the local government.
For a town once regarded as a center of growth and opportunity, many residents believe Gboko has been left behind. As national debates on local government autonomy continue, the people of Gboko insist they want functional infrastructure, accountable leadership, and a town that works for everyone. Until these concerns are addressed, Gboko's scorecard, according to its residents, remains largely in the red. In Benue, for News Central, Sewisi Anyo.
How do we save this country?
You moved from the APC to the PDP.
Therefore, listen, I'm still paying teachers in Ondo State. If Olabode just should be expelled from the party.
It's an existential imbecility, utter nonsense.
Join me, Dapo Adeboye, on Politics HQ, where Nigeria's political heartbeat is felt. Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. on News Central.
And you've just seen the report there packaged by our News Central correspondent there in Benue State. Now, to discuss and delve deeper into these matters, we'll be joined by three guests today. I have architect Utsaha, who's a practicing architect and public affairs analyst. Thank you for joining us. I'll also be joined by Ajai Tsokar, who's a former special assistant to former Governor Samuel Ortom on politics and inter-party agenda. Thank you so much. And our third guest, the only woman in the house, is the Ibukunolu James, who's a research and policy analyst from Budget. Thank you so much, lady and gentlemen. Mr. Tsokar, I would like to ask, being that you've been in government before, from the report that you just saw, you know, that what the people have said, the residents of Gboko are clearly unhappy because they feel that they have largely been neglected. So if you could speak to the local government chairman currently, based on what you've seen, what would be your advice on where he should start first?
Actually, the man is not even accessible. In fact, I don't even know whether Gboko local government has a chairman. If you are not accessible to somebody, how will you advise that person?
Now you have revealed what our correspondent equally said, that gaining access, to hear from them was from the chairman himself and his officers was quite difficult. As a matter of fact, proved abortive. But from what you've seen, where do you think should be visited first? What project should first be attended to? Because it looks like the people are in dire need of so many things.
At least the bad roads. And as we saw it, erosion have taken over a lot of houses. So those drainages, the roads and the drainages, at least those ones first. Because the environment first before human. If you cannot live in the environment, you cannot live that place. If the place is not conducive, you cannot live. So you should take care of the roads and the erosion side projects.
Okay, all right, thank you. Architect Utsaha, we've heard similar stories of chairmen not having full autonomy, from full autonomy, to take charge of their local government areas from different LGAs that we have visited in this program. Do we blame the same reason for the lack of performance in Gboko? Do we think that is equally the lack of autonomy, or just like our last guest has said, the local government chairman and the presence of local government is just not felt?
And I think you can blame it on autonomy to some extent, in the sense that their emergence is based on the aims and purposes of the state government. That is why they are not answerable to the people. If somebody emerges from the popular vote of people, there is no way you will not be inaccessible, as we have heard. If his election was purely determined by the people, certainly he would be accessible. That is the one part I will blame it on the government. On the other part, I think to a large extent, many of them don't know what they are supposed to do. They just assume they are supposed to go there, occupy the office for a time, and then from there graduate to the next position. So if you are blaming it on autonomy, you are blaming it because there is no accountability to the people they are supposed to learn. That is the only blame I put on autonomy. The rest of it, I will blame it on their deliberate refusal to do what is right.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to thank you. I'm going to hold on to what you've said, and that will form the basis of my next question for you, Madam Ibukunolu. Now, from what we've seen in this report, and our first guest did mention, it does seem like government is distant from the people in this particular local government area, or rather, in this case, government is not even available to be reached by the people. What would you advise the local government chairman to do concerning how would I say, concerning getting information from the people to know exactly where they should begin? And it's not the first time we're seeing this in certain local governments. Information flow between the government and the people is actually a challenge. Where do they begin, based on your opinion?
Every leader, by the dynamics of being a leader, is selected or elected to represent the people. So it is important that the leader should know that the people's interest is the most important, is the optimum benchmark. If a leader cannot know his place as a leader, then he's not fit to sit at that position. So one of the things that is important is the leader should look at the quality of life of the people. I listened to the report and I heard that they pay money to buy water. That alone shows the low quality of life. You know, if the quality of life of the people that a leader is leading is not up to par, then it shadows a bad light on the leader. So it's important that the leadership of Gboko look inward into the community, measure the quality of life of the people. Do they have access to healthcare? Do they have access to good roads? Do they have access to education? Do they have access to water? And in this case, they don't. You know, so it's important that the leaders should maybe set up a community hearing committee that will speak and voice the wish of the people. And in this case, that the leader is even AWOL, it's going to be a lost cause, because you can't get hold of the leader. How do you get him to hear you? So it's important that the leadership of Gboko look inwards and increase the quality of life of the people in the community.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. Mr. Tsokar, I'd like to come back to you. Now that we have established that, you know, it's difficult for the people to reach their leader or the leadership of the local government area, what do you think can be the next action of the people? I mean, if people cannot just sit down where the leader is absent, what can they do, you know, to speak to higher authority? Where can they go? How can they seek redress, knowing that their leader is absent?
Our major problem is the leadership. Most of those local government chairmen, they're not elected. They're just appointees. They just appoint them. So they're answerable to the who gave them the appointment. So if they're appointed by a particular person, they will be answerable to them, but they will not even listen to you. So that's our major problem. You have a case, you cannot present it. You don't even know where to present it. Because if you take it to the high authority, they are the people who appoint the person. So they will not even listen to you. So our major problem is that the system. Our major problem is the system. There's no election. The system of no election appointment. That's our major problem. Because if it happens that if it is the community that elected the chairman, you have access to the chairman. Or any complaint you have. But they have been appointed. Who will you complain to? They will not even listen to you.
All right, thank you so much, sir. And just before we go, I'd like to ask Architect Utsaha, looking at, from what you saw in that particular report, we've talked about infrastructure, the people have talked about roads, they've talked about erosion. You are an architect. What can you suggest, you know, based on infrastructure? If that community is to be rebuilt, where should be focused on? Roads, drainages, buildings? What would you suggest the government should do? Should eventually the people are able to get through to them?
Incidentally, the items you mentioned here are items that are under the responsibility, the functions of local government. You know, local governments are created based on Section 7 of the Constitution, and then the functions of local government are spelled out in Schedule 4, Section 7 of the Constitution. Creation, construction of roads and maintenance, maintenance generally of the environment, cleanliness, All of those items you mentioned are responsibilities of the local government. I grew up in Gboko too. 1988, I was in Gboko. I still in Gboko. Gboko is one of the very few plant towns, land, properly planned streets in such a manner that people really want to develop Gboko on a case-by-case basis. You can very easily achieve it. Gboko is not waterlogged. You can have very decent drainages. Start from one point and end at the other. So you can clearly map out, build your drainages, who is in plots. Also, the topography more or less of the place. So you focus on your drainages to make sure that your road erosion does not happen there. You build roads. You cannot do everything at a time, but you can do what so much within the resources you have. You mentioned 809 million per month. The local government chairman, you can do so much with it within those 3 years. So you focus on roads, you clean the refuse off the streets, and when you clean refuse off the streets, you ensure that there's no longer dumping of refuse there. You work on your coverage, you work on your drainages. You would have done so much. But these guys just leave it to the state government. Theirs is just to occupy time for 3 years and leave. That is the challenge. There's a whole lot they can do for money coming if they are sincere about it.
All right. Thank you so much. And just before we go, Ibukunolu, I would like to ask, what kind of policies, do you think, now speaking generally, can be put in place to ensure that local government chairmen actually meet up to their duties? Because as we know, local government is government closest to the people. So in your opinion, if the local government chairman is not performing, what kind of policies do you think can be put in place to address their inactivity, so to speak?
Okay, thank you, Bernard. The first point is allow people elect or select their leaders. It gives them a certain level of closure to know that they can hold such a person accountable for his actions and inactions. Another thing that is needed right now is a major administrative reform in the local government system all over Nigeria, if you ask me, because the issue of caretakers, governors or state representatives selecting leaders at the local government level, it's another thing that needs to be spoken about, that needs to be addressed, because it affects the fiscal aspect. Because if states don't interfere, it is now the local government and the people, then it allows for transparency, it allows accountability, because you know that you have taken the block away from the people. Now it is the people directly to the local government. So that is one. Another thing is to ensure that the local government has direct access to their funds. If the local government chairman if the local government, quote and unquote, receives about 800 million naira in allocation, the question is, do they have direct access to that 800 million? And in this case, the answer is no. So why don't we allow them have access to these funds after people have selected their leaders? They know how much the leader is collecting. Then they can start accounting, and there's transparency. So it sets the role of each individual, from the local governments to the people. It sets their role apart, and they are able to focus on what they want. Another thing is to allow performance-based financing.
Okay.
It is important.
All right. Sorry for lack of time. I'd like to stop here. But before I let you go, all our guests, Ibukun, I'll start from you. You heard the people grade, or rather score, the local government chairman. Based on what you've seen, Ibukun, what do you think? And when you are done, I will state what the people have said and give you the aggregate score. But what do you think, this particular local government chairman can be scored over 10?
Okay, over 10, I will score him 0.
Oh, wow. Okay, Mr. Tsokar, you are closer to the government, and you clearly expressed your displeasure with the fact that this chairman is completely unavailable most times. What score do you think he deserves over 10?
Are you asking? Somebody who has done nothing, 0 now. You're asking.
All right. And architect,
it's completely 0.
Yes, architect Utsaha, can we hear from you? What do you think about this local government?
I think, yeah, you need participate in the exams. You can't spend. You don't participate.
All right.
I will even be benevolent to give him a 7.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say thank you so much for joining in this conversation. Based on the residents' ratings, Gboko scored 43.75% over 100, which still falls, that's about 4 over 10, which still falls below 50% pass mark that local government's chairman should have. Now, until these concerns are addressed, Gboko's scorecard, according to its residents, remain largely in the red zone. I'm Bernard Akede, and this is Scorecard, where every promise gets graded by citizens holding the red pen.